Yo, what's cracking, everybody? My name is Oscar Cisneros. I own my own mobile mechanic company. It's called Grease Monkey Mobile Mechanic. And I started this company in April of 2019. Prior to that, I was working at the Ford dealership for almost 5 years. And I used to work at the Ford dealership. I was a what we refer to as a quick service technician. What that means is that our department specialized in electronics, electrical work, and air conditioning. So it was the most highly skilled department in terms of diagnostics in the dealership. A lot of times when other skill sets couldn't figure out a certain problem, they would always ship it to us because we were the shit, straight up. It's a trip. So, at the dealership that I used to work at, we used to have, it wasn't a bumper to bumper. So they believed that it would be better if a technician specialized in a certain skill set rather than be the jack of all trades and master of none. So when I was at the dealership, I started up as a loop technician and I wanted to work my way up. And there was three things that I really, really wanted to do when I first started up. I really wanted to do diesel. I think diesel is the future. I think diesel is where the money's at, definitely. If somebody's got this $80,000, $90,000 F1, F250, F350 and up, and the little vans, and they use them for work, they got to get them fixed. They got to spend the money. It doesn't matter how much it costs. At the end of the day, they got to get it done. So that's why I always wanted to get into diesel. Another department that I always wanted to do was heavy line department. Heavy line is just what it sounds like. They would remove and install engines all day long. They would do heavy, more in-depth engine work, and they were just the cavemen at the dealership. They were always greasy. They always had these fucked up hands. Always had these weird bruises on the fingernails. I mean, it was insane, but I wanted to do that. And the other department that I also wanted to get into was the air conditioning and the electronics. That's the future, guys. If you're getting into the automotive repair industry and you have no foundation in electrical, you don't understand how voltage works, how ground works, how power and all that works, you will be lost. There is just no way you would succeed in this future, in this industry. So I highly recommend that develop and create a good foundation in electrical theory. Matter of fact, when I went to the Ford Training Center, the first class the prerequisite is to pass this electrical, basic electrical. And if you can't get past this class, there's no point in you even advancing to brakes, as modern systems, modern vehicles use electronics now to control parking brakes, and suspension even, engine, a lot of the engine, air conditioning, everything, almost everything is controlled by a module now. It's insane. So I got into the electrical department and I loved it. It was pretty badass. A lot of times, it kind of sucked, because you're stuck kind of doing the recalls that nobody in the dealership wants to do. But it was some fun shit, you know what I mean? Like, I remember the first day I was kind of taken aback. Like, as a loop tech, I'd walk through the stalls and I'd be just looking at everybody's bays. I'd be looking at all the shit that they got going on. This guy's got an engine, this guy's got trannies apart, this guy lifted a whole cab off the chassis, or a chassis, and it's fucking incredible, man. And I envied that, and I said to myself, I gave myself a goal. I said, I'm gonna get to that level, and what impressed me about the department that I worked in was air conditioning diagnosis. There's a lot to it, but it's so simple. Taking dashes out, I was like, wow, man, it was an incredible sight to see. And it was very cool what it did to my self-esteem when I actually jumped from the lube technician position into the quick service technician position. It was pretty badass, you know what I mean? Our mentor, great guy, he threw a lot of challenges my way just to kind of see how I would hold up. And I would say that the foundation, the education that I created for myself in the beginning definitely helped out a lot. I would say that I was one of the guys that advanced pretty rapidly into the position that I went into. And it was awesome, you know what I mean? But I will say this, and I mentioned this to my other buddy. whenever you work a blue collar job, you know, construction, you work, you know, as a mechanic, landscaping, it could be whatever, where you work around a group of guys, you better have some tough fucking skin, man, because these people will fucking clown you like there ain't no tomorrow, man. I mean, you better learn how to talk shit. You better learn how to take it, you know, because if you can't handle the heat, you get the fuck out the kitchen. You know, you got to be ready to get clowned on. You got to get ready to be on your toes so that you can clown back, find opportunities, you know, and shit, man. I mean, spray brake cleaner on each other. I've seen pranks. I've seen some crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. I've seen people get so offended. But at the end of the day, we're all family. You know, we all come together. So, it's just a trip, man. Like, the stuff that I've seen, you know what I mean? Even as a mechanic, you know, just the work that I would get involved in. It's like, hot damn, man. You see a lot of personalities, a lot of temperaments. Everybody has their way of doing things. And, it was truly exciting. So, anyways, just kind of wanted to share who I was. I'll probably start making a couple series of videos and talk a little bit about the dealership life where I was at. I'll talk about, you know, how I'm doing as a self-employed mechanic, as a mobile mechanic. I'll probably even go through my setup so that you guys can kind of see what I'm working with. It's pretty exciting. It's pretty badass. And I'll kind of show you guys, if you guys are interested, how you can take your career to the next level. You know, I don't know about you guys. I don't want to be a mechanic the rest of my life. I do enjoy it. There are certain aspects of it that I still enjoy. There's a lot that I don't. You know, shit customers. You know, sometimes parts fail. Bad diagnosis. You know, and it's all part of a learning process. I mean, this is what your life as a technician is going to be. You know, the stress of getting a job done, meeting deadlines. You know, trying to work on time, right? Having the right tools, breaking tools, fucking hurting yourself, smashing knuckles, hitting your head on the racks. I mean, there's a lot of shit that I don't like, but there's a lot of shit that I do like. Good customers, amazing relationships, the fulfillment of being able to fix a car, the fulfillment of being able to fix a car that a guy who's been doing it longer than you have can't fix. It's fucking incredible, man. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of these stories, so stay tuned. You know, get ready. Make this shit happen. Peace out.